What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So, Robert the Ghost Guerrero and Danny Swift Garcia, they met up in Los Angeles, them and their camps, to promote their fight. They will be fighting in late January 2016, and everything all went well. Like, I haven't seen any interviews or anything, but I want to talk about this fight because the day it happened, I think I was out and about at the boxing gym or whatnot, so I haven't really got a chance to explore Garcia Guerrero. But from the onset, when this fight was announced, I read a ton of comments and people were saying, "Oh, Danny Garcia with another cherry pick, and this is a weak fight." All types of stuff, man. It's getting to the point where I'm gonna have to start limiting my responses to fewer and fewer people because, like Roger Mayweather said, most people don't know shit about boxing. And the fact that people have this grudge against Al Heyman or PBC, it's just, this tribalism has got to stop. It's just getting ridiculous because right now it's like everything, unless it's a undeniable, spectacular, crazy, best of the best fight, then people say it's a cherry pick. Like Deontay Wilder, he got ducked by Glasscoff, and then also he had a fight lined up with Povetkin, where they were trying to get him lined up, and Povetkin, his team said they wouldn't be ready that early. They wouldn't be ready by January because they got an injury. And people say Deontay Wilder is ducking. He's the one that's the weak person. I mean, if he has to stay busy, he has to stay busy. I'm not going to wait around for no Povetkin to heal his wounds or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you're ready to fight, you're ready to fight. And to me, like Povetkin in that situation, if it means so much and you're the mandatory, then make yourself readily available. It's just like Pacquiao with the drug testing. If you really wanted to fight that man Mayweather that bad initially, just give in to a demand like drug testing and whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying? If Povetkin is that confident and he believes that he'll win, why can't you be ready in a month? Deontay Wilder has to be ready against Spilka in a month. Spilka has to be ready for Wilder in a month, but you can't be ready. You know what I'm saying? So this whole bashing of every fight and every fight, there's certain terms like ducking, cherry pick, they're just so overused in the sport of boxing. Garcia Guerrero, in my opinion, is it the mega end all be all, the quintessential welterweight bout? No. But then again, there's a lot of promoters, a lot of fights that aren't that. Like, I was interested in Kell Brook versus Diego Chavez. However, that's not the best possible opponent for Kell Brook. You know what I mean? Even though I like the fight, it's not the best end all be all of opponents. Diego Chavez got stopped by Keith Thurman when he was undefeated. He had a draw with Timothy Bradley, and I thought he lost that fight. He lost to Brandon Rios, even though it was controversial. So Kell Brook facing him is not the end all be all, but it's still a solid fight, and that's really what Garcia Guerrero is to me. It's that type of fight. It's not the Keith Thurman versus Sean Porter or Kell Brook versus Khan mega magnitude type of fight, but it is definitely solid. I like this matchup a lot better than Danny Garcia versus Paulie Malignaggi, but me being a realistic boxing fan, the Malignaggi fight made sense too because it was his first fight at a new division. So he had to test the water. Broner did it. He jumped up 2 weight classes, fought Malignaggi, also a light puncher. You're not going to just go in there and immediately go for the top dog in the division. It's just, it doesn't work like that. And even if you do, like let's say Brandon Rios, he was coming off of a loss. Pacquiao was coming off a knockout loss, and then he went at one of the top dogs at welterweight. His first fight at 147, what happened? He tested positive for some kind of diuretic or whatever. And as far as the fight, he got whooped by Pacquiao. I had him losing every round, and I think Pacquiao should have scored a knockdown, but they said it was a slip. So, I mean, people got to be realistic with these fights. You're not going to just move up to a new division and immediately face the biggest and baddest dudes. Same thing like Wilder. You're not going to just become a champion. A guy with limited amateur background, very limited, you know what I'm saying? He's lucky he even made it to the Olympics. So it showed you his hunger or power or whatever. But you're not going to immediately face Klitschko or immediately face Tyson Fury. That's just not how it works, especially in today's boxing. Now, let's talk about Garcia Guerrero. I think it's a solid fight, and the reason being is because I know my shit. I know boxing. And the thing is, Danny Garcia is a good fighter, very solid fighter, undefeated, but arguably he shouldn't be undefeated. Like, I thought he lost to Herrera. I thought the Peterson one, he didn't look good at all, but I thought Peterson started kind of late. Either way, those weren't his best performances. So realistically speaking, people are talking about, oh, Robert Guerrero got dropped by Aaron Martinez. Aaron Martinez showed that he's actually pretty solid. I mean, he got stopped by Josito Lopez, bounced back, gave Robert Guerrero hell, knocked him down. It looked like he had Guerrero out on his feet. Then he later beats Devin Alexander, a guy who's considered slick. So obviously Aaron Martinez can chunk him, and he, you know what I'm saying? He's an aggressive fighter, and he's like reinvented himself and made like a name for himself again after being stopped by Josito Lopez. So I look at that, and then I also look at this. As bad as he was hurt, Guerrero that is, in the Martinez fight, what did he do? He got the fuck back up, got back to a better game plan, which was to box at range a little bit more, and he won the fight. Now, I thought Aaron Martinez won. I haven't seen it in a while, but I think I was leaning towards Martinez, but the judges gave it to Guerrero. It is what it is. But needless to say, he started winning rounds after being that severely hurt. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing with Robert Guerrero. You can't count like these warriors out when they're not getting stopped. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he got dropped. A lot of people get dropped. Klitschko's been dropped. Everyone really not named Mayweather has been dropped. Calzaki's been dropped by Roy Jones Jr. in the fight he won. You know what I'm saying? So getting dropped is one thing, but Guerrero is tough. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to survive. He's a veteran, been in the game long enough, and he has that willpower to win. So I don't see this as being like some demolition job by Danny Garcia where it's just absolutely going to be one-sided. The other thing is you look at a guy, I don't know, just people like Maidana. Maidana, he gets hurt in fights. I've seen him dropped in fights. I've seen him hurt. I think Devin Alexander even dropped him, and he's not really even known for power. He got dropped in the Amir Khan fight. Khan blasted him with a nasty body shot first round. You know what I'm saying? But he gets back up, and he hasn't been stopped. So you have to look at that. Guerrero's been in there with Mayweather. He's been in there with a big puncher like Keith Thurman, and none of them dudes stopped him. Aaron Martinez hurt him, but didn't stop him. Orlando Salido, who was cheating and on PEDs, didn't stop him. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give the fighters the proper credit. You could say Guerrero, he hasn't looked great in performances, but again, neither has Danny Garcia. In my opinion, Garcia was getting tagged and lit up by Peterson and also Herrera's jab. So to me, it's a fair fight. And this is a new fight at the division for Danny Garcia. I mean, he fought Paulie Malignaggi, who was pretty much on his way out. And then now he's going in there with someone who I think can punch harder than Paulie Malignaggi. He's a southpaw, and he's about Danny Garcia's height. And he has a totally different style than Malignaggi. So I don't think it's a bad fight. I think it's definitely solid. A winner will definitely move on and, you know what I mean, maybe fight Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, those types, Amir Khan. I mean, whoever wins, if they look good in doing it, this is a good fight. Again, I'm realistic. It's not Mayweather Pacquiao caliber or whatever, but to me it's very solid, and I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Danny Garcia will win this fight. I would lean towards Danny Garcia, but Robert Guerrero, he's still in there, because if you know boxing and you look at the style matchup, again, Guerrero about his size, a southpaw. Danny Garcia, we know he has a lot of pop and a lot of power, but that was at 140. We've only seen him at 47 one time, and we're talking about Keith Thurman couldn't even get Guerrero out of there, right? Now, maybe he took so much punishment, he's not the same fighter anymore, and then, you know what I'm saying, like, let's say he gets stopped in this fight. That could happen, but we can only go off of what we know and, you know what I'm saying, and what we've seen, and the fact is he hasn't been stopped. And Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman, very different. Keith Thurman fought over 150 pounds and stopped dudes before. So I think his power is definitely legit. I think Danny Garcia definitely has power too, but I still have to see how his power holds up at 47 against guys who can punch back a little bit more than a Paulie Malignaggi. Malignaggi couldn't keep the young, strong Danny Garcia off of him, right? But then when you're in there with someone about your equal size who hits harder than Malignaggi, could be a totally different fight. Plus, he's a southpaw, and again, a veteran. He knows how to survive. He knows how to buy time. He knows how to rally. Watch the Keith Thurman fight. Thurman dropped him. I thought he was going to get stopped for the first time, counted out. Next round, he came back like smoking and rallying, and he won that round. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, this is not this horrible mismatch that people are talking about. People, you guys really, I advise all boxing fans, analyze these fights. Really break it down. Don't just read comments and like really watch tape on people and see what people are doing. Again, Danny Garcia is a very solid fighter. He should be the favorite in this, but I don't see it as being a whitewash where I don't even think he'll win every single round unless he stops him early like Danny Jacobs did Quillen. You know what I'm saying? I really don't see that. I think this is a competitive fight, and I think it's a good buildup. I already told you guys that Angel Garcia and Ruben Guerrero. My son Robert, he's a warrior. You guys like that guy? Woman beater, baby, yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it's I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? And it's on PBC. It's on free TV. Don't watch it. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But I like the venue, Staples Center. Some people are like, oh, why the Staples Center? You got a Mexican fighter, Mexican American, and then you also have a Puerto Rican fighter, Puerto Rican American fighter, and they're fighting at the Staples Center. Who wouldn't want to fight at the Staples Center where the Lakers play? You know what I'm saying? And Guerrero's from California, so to me it makes sense. You can't just let Danny Garcia have every single fight at the Barclays on the East Coast, close to Philly, where he's from. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of another advantage, and that's kind of what I like what Al Heyman's doing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of Danny Garcia is the clear favorite, right? But he's still giving the underdog somewhat of an advantage because I'm from the Bay. Robert Guerrero's from the Bay as well. And trust me, it's much easier for people out here, fans, boxing fans, to drive from Northern California to Southern California or even fly. You know what I mean? It's a 45-minute flight, an hour if the pilot's slow, right? Versus if they made the fight at the Barclay, it'd be very hard for not immediate family of Robert Guerrero to be able to make it out all the way to the East Coast. A lot of people don't have the finances like that. So I kind of like that. I think it gives Robert Guerrero a little bit of momentum. He had a good turnout in Las Vegas, which is also on the West Coast, close to California. And a lot of people went out to Vegas when he fought Keith Thurman. So I think Guerrero will actually be the crowd favorite. A lot of people hate Danny Garcia anyway. So let me know what you guys think. Garcia, Guerrero, they just kicked off their first little press tour, press conference or whatnot. Drop your predictions in the comment. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.